Hey, what is going on, guys? This is Jack, our pro hybrid coach of the Toronto Talon Flames. I'm bringing you guys my week 1 matchup versus JR and the Indigo Lasers. It's going to be a post commentary, so the battle's already happened. Before I get into the game, I had to record it because of replays on Showdown are currently down. Trying to get into the team I brought and explaining why I brought the sets that I did. You might notice I have a wallpaper here I made for my team from last season. Alright, let's getting into the team. JR is a really offensive team with tons of big powerhouses like Zardex, Haxorus, a potential choice spec, Sylveon, Toxicroak, like a lot of power. So I opted for a bulkier team that can deal with his threats. And so I didn't bring Coupon Bound because it's more good for breaking down defensive teams, and his is a really offensive team. And I didn't really feel it fit in my team. What I did bring, though, was first off a fully physically defensive Mega Venusaur, Giga Drain, Sludge Bomb, Knockoff, because, Jirachi really likes switching into this thing, and also Synthesis for reliable recovery. Because I want to use Knockoff, I have a speed lowering nature, because I really don't need speed. So this is just the Venusaur I'm bringing, pretty standard. Next I got my Infernape. It's going to be Choice Scarfed. It's got enough speed to outspeed a Jolly Charizard X at +1 after a Dragon Dance. Flare Blitz Close Combat for Stab. These really big fire and fighting weaknesses, so I can exploit that. Earthquakes hits the Zardex really hard, and U-Turn, because Choice Scarf, U-Turn go together really well, and he does have a few bug weaknesses like Shiftry, so if I get initiative there, that'd be great. Go, Weavile, again, speed creeping is enough speed to outspeed a Sneasel, because we basically OHKO each other, so I definitely want to be able to outspeed that. The rest I should put into bulk. I have Ice Punch, Ice Shard, Knockoff, and Brick Break. Pretty standard Weavile set. I opted for Ice Punch over Icicle Crash because the power difference isn't that big of a deal. I don't want to have the situation where there's a Haxorus that has a Swords Dance up and I have to go for an Icicle Crash to kill it and I miss. That would just suck. And Brick Break, because he has really big fighting weaknesses, and in case he wants to run like dual screens Auroras, I'm pretty sure it gets at least light screen. I think it's both screens though. I'm not going to let that happen. Got Miltank, which actually has a pretty good matchup against the Charizard X because of Thick Bat. It's fully physically defensive. I want to lead off this thing. If it's leads off Charizard, I can T-Wave it. If it leads off on something that doesn't threaten it, I can get Rocks, because he really doesn't have any good hazard removal. Rock Slide, because it's Zard X, but it also means I'm not walled by Rotom. And it's a pretty good coverage move. Kind of have a Paraflinch thing going on here. That was unintentional. But if he brings like a Paraflinch Jirachi, I won't feel so bad about this. Milk Drink, reliable recovery, and fully physically defensive. Got Bronzong here, pretty interesting set. This is especially defensive to deal with Sylveon and Aurora, so I need to switch into those. Ironhead Explosion, Earthquake Toxic. Explosion is an interesting move here. If Zardex wants to set up on me, my plan is to explode and do like 60 to 70%, which will do a ton to it, and maybe with rocks I could potentially even kill it, and then I can immediately go into my Infernape and go for an Earthquake to make sure it doesn't set up all over my Bronzong. So I don't really want to, this kind of hurts my differential, but I feel like I need this, or else this thing, Bronzong's complete setup fodder for Zardex. Finally bringing Gastrodon, another fully physically defensive monster. That's 3. Haxorus and Zardex, you really need a team to prep for that. I got Rocky Helmet in case he wants to do like a Paraflinching Jirachi. I can have the Rocky Helmet to do extra damage. Sticky Heal because he has no water types, and he might have placed plenty of things that can use Knockoff. Scald, Earth Power. Counter is an interesting move. I can take a +1 Dragon Claw and counter back an OHKO at Zardex or something like that. Maybe take a Knockoff from a Sneasel. And to recover, because I want all my walls to have reliable recovery if they can. So this is the team I'm bringing. Using a lot of my lower tier picks, both my RUs and my an NU, and only 2 of my OUs, but I think this is a really good team. It's supposed to be bulky. I need to get rocks up right away, spread some stats on this team. Because it's bulky, I kind of wanted to have a heal bell on Miltank, but I couldn't really fit into the moveset. And there are a few weird moves here, but like Explosion and such, and Counter, but I feel like this is a pretty good team, and I should have a good matchup. So let's get into the actual game. Alright guys, we're here with a battle, and I'm putting this battle in 3 times speed just because I tend to run a lot of calcs, and I apologize in advance for that, but so I just want to speed up the battle. Right off the bat, I led with Miltank, I wanted to get rocks up or paralyze the Charizard if he led with it, but he led with Toxicroak, so I knew I had to go into Venusaur right away and get my Mega Evolution off. This is a bit of break in between these turns. So then he goes into Charizard, and I go for a Knockoff, kind of predicting the Jirachi to come in. And at this point, it's a big moment. I'm pretty convinced this thing is going to be offensive Dragon Dance. At this point, I'm looking at the calcs. I'm trying to figure out how much a Sludge Bomb will do, and if it's worth me sacking off my Venusaur in an attempt to get rid of the Charizard. In my back of my mind, I know he can be bulky. I know bulky Charizard is a thing, but I'm not really focused on that. I think Dragon Dance is the biggest threat, but he does use Will-O-Wisp and does reveal that he's a bulky Charizard. So it's pretty interesting. Like I said, I have to change mid-game the way I play. I prepped for an offensive Charizard. I'm not too actually worried about a bulky Will-O-Wisp Charizard, although at this point, I really do wish I had Heal Bell on my Miltank, and I go for a knockoff here, predicting him to switch in. I sort of overpredict. At this point, I try to get Venusaur back up to full health, so I'm just spamming Synthesis. But knowing these bulking, he's revealed his full set. He went for the Earthquake. I know I can go into Miltank, fully physically defensive with Thick Fat, and I can freely just wall this thing. Like, his Flare Blitz is doing 30% maximum, and I can paralyze it, I can get up my rocks, I can just stall it out, like I win this matchup. So he goes into Toxic Rope, and I'm able to Thunder Wave it, and that's pretty helpful for me. But I can't stay in here because Drain Punches will destroy me, so I decide to go into my Gastrodon. I eat the Drain Punch really well. I know I can wall this thing, I know knockoffs won't do anything. And at this point, I really want to get my health back up to full, and I'm wondering what he's going to do. I keep thinking he might go into Rotom Fan, might go into Drochi, and I kind of want to skull predicting that, but I don't want to overthink things. I just go for the Earth Power and get the kill. And he does go into Rotom Fan here afterwards. This thing's kind of an annoying Mon. It's one of the few things on his team that can really deal with Charizard pretty well because of its Flying Stab. So I opt to go into my Bronzong here to scout for the HP Grass, and he does reveal the HP Grass. So I just want to get Toxic off in this thing. He has no Clerics, although he did bring Shiftry for Defog. And I just want to wear this thing down over time. And he does reveal that he's also offensive with Hidden Power, but he also has Will-O-Wisp, which is kind of unfortunate. He does spread a lot of stats around my team, which is, again, I really wish I had Heal Bell and Miltank, but I couldn't really work into the set. So at this point, I'm just going to go for an Iron Head to get a bit of damage off. I'm not going to pull the trigger on Explosion just yet, because I know he's not going to do much. He goes to Iron Head, he goes to Zard. So Zard, I can just go into Miltank. He goes for Flare Blitz, it does nothing. And now, I was going to go for a T-Wave, I just want to get my rocks up just in case he tries to switch back into Toxic Rope again, and we're just in a bit of a stall war here. He burns me, which is annoying. Spreading stats from my walls was kind of an issue, but I was able to get the T-Wave off, and I was able to paralyze it. So I go into Gastrodon, and I kind of realized I made a bit of a mistake, maybe, because now I let that get burned, so I was kind of kicking myself for that. But at this point, I just opt to keep my health up, go for Earth Power, and I'm able to get rid of the Zards. That's pretty good. Basically, every wall on my team is burned, unfortunately, but I feel like I'm able to play around that as long as I play well. Most of them have reliable recovery, so I go into Bronzong. It's not too useful. I think around this point in the game, I only film for so long with the trial version of Bandicam, so I do start up a new video. So he goes into Sneasel, and I go to Infernape. At this point, his team's pretty worn down, and I still have Infernape and Weavile, who can sort of come in late game and just clean up, because a lot of his team's stats are weak. I just go for a Flare Blitz, not overthinking things. And right here, and I will get that kill. Right here, I'm worried about a Scarf Jirachi, so I just opt to go for into my Gastrodon, but it does reveal the Toxic, so I guess it's just like a stall-y kind of Jirachi. He has a Wish Protect, Toxic, and I believe Iron Head. And I'm just sort of able to stall now, keep my health up, and I'm just going for Earth Powers, and I'm able to get this kill. So Gastrodon picking up its second kill. He goes in Rotom Fan again, and I can't stand. I need a Gastrodon, and I know the HP Grass is coming, but Bronzong is down, so I'm kind of looking for a switch in for this thing, and I really don't have much. So I go into Miltank, but I just want Toxic damage to rack up. But Miltank really can't do much. Rock Slides aren't doing almost anything after I'm burnt. He gets the flinch here, which kind of sucks, so I do lose Miltank. At this point, I'm a bit of a situation where Weavile's Ice Punch might not kill it if it's fully physically defensive, so I'm kind of wondering, I'm kicking myself for not having Ice Crash at this point. But I do end up going into Weavile and just going for the Ice Punch. I know I was running the calc there, checking if Infernape's Flare Blitz did enough, but I figured in the end, Weavile is the best play. I'm not going to overthink things. Weavile can really just come in, and if I do kill Rotom, I basically can guarantee the win. So after a lot of thought, I finally go into Weavile, and I'm just going to go for the Ice Punch. It doesn't kill. Like, I've got the win in the bag at this point, but I kind of want to get the highest differential I can. I'm able to get Ice Punch, kill it, and then just go into Shift. He goes into Shiftry, and I can just go for the Ice Punch, run a quick calc here, and able to finish that off. So that's the game, able to get the 4-0 win versus JR. So I'm pretty happy with that. He played a really good game. He had some really good sets, like Bulky Zard caught me off guard. HP Grass and the Rotom could have been really good if I wasn't too careful about that. So it was a good game, and I'm able to get the win in the end. Good start to the season. So thanks for watching if you watched the whole thing, and I'll catch you guys later. See ya.